Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest gift you can give yourself is clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of priorities, clarity of action. In a world drowning in complexity, the most successful people are not the ones who do more. They're the ones who focus on less. Simplicity is not about doing less for the sake of laziness. It's about doing more of what matters and eliminating everything that doesn't. The most effective people don't chase 10 rabbits. They pick one and they catch it. You see, success is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. And the first choice you must make is to simplify. Strip away the noise. Cut through the clutter. Focus like a laser on the goals that truly move your life forward. Clarity is the starting point of all success. Without it, you're like a ship at sea, without a rudder. Drifting, reacting, and hoping you'll arrive somewhere worthwhile. But hope is not a strategy. The most successful individuals don't leave their direction to chance. They take the time to define it with precision. Clarity gives you a target. It transforms vague desires into specific goals, and specific goals into daily actions. When you know exactly what you want, every decision becomes easier, every step more focused. Most people go through life being busy without ever being truly productive. They confuse motion with progress. They check boxes, attend meetings, and respond to emails, but rarely stop to ask, is this moving me closer to my most important goal? That's the power of clarity. It acts as a filter. Once you're clear on where you want to go, you can instantly eliminate anything that doesn't take you there. You stop wasting time on distractions and start investing it in direction. Clarity begins with thinking. It requires stepping back from the whirlwind of daily tasks and asking yourself fundamental questions. What do I really want? What does success look like to me? What am I doing right now that aligns or doesn't align with that vision? You can't simplify your life if you haven't first defined what a successful life looks like. The clearer your definition, the simpler your choices become. Goal setting is the practical extension of clarity. When you take the time to write your goals down, you move from wishing to planning. Written goals force you to think with precision. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, you define it. I will walk 10,000 steps a day, drink 3 liters of water, and lose 15 pounds by July. That level of clarity gives your brain instructions it can act on. Vague goals create vague results. Clear goals create power. Clarity also eliminates anxiety. One of the main sources of stress in people's lives is not knowing what to do next. But when your vision is clear and your priorities are defined, overwhelm disappears. You don't have to do everything, you only have to do the right things. That mental relief alone is worth the effort of getting clear. With clarity, you trade confusion for confidence. You move from reacting to life to creating it. It's important to revisit your clarity regularly. Life changes. Priorities evolve. What mattered deeply to you a year ago may not matter today. That's why top performers schedule time for reflection. Whether it's through journaling, goal reviews, or quiet thinking, they constantly realign with what matters most. Clarity is not a one-time decision. It's a discipline. And the more you practice it, the more powerful and simplified your life becomes. The key to multiplying your results without multiplying your stress lies in one powerful idea: focus on high-value activities. Every day you are faced with a long list of tasks, demands, and distractions. But not all tasks are created equal. Some activities contribute significantly to your success, while others have little or no impact at all. The ability to identify and concentrate on the few tasks that deliver the greatest results is what separates the highly effective from the merely busy. In every area of your life, career, business, health, relationships, There are a handful of actions that yield the majority of your outcomes. This is often called the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20%. The challenge is to find that 20%, the vital few tasks that really move the needle, and then discipline yourself to spend more of your time there. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter on the things that matter most. High-value activities are usually not urgent, but they are incredibly important. Planning, strategizing, building relationships, creating systems, practicing skills. These are the kinds of actions that generate long-term value. Yet they're often pushed aside by the noise of the day, emails, meetings, errands, and interruptions. The problem is that low-value tasks scream for your attention, while high-value tasks whisper. You must be intentional in listening to the whisper. A powerful exercise is to ask yourself, if I could only do one thing today that would make the biggest impact, what would it be? Then do that first. This is called eating the frog, starting your day with the most valuable and often most difficult task. When you complete a high-value activity early in the day, you build momentum. You create a sense of progress and control that carries you forward. 1 hour of focused, high-value work is worth more than 8 hours of busy work. Eliminating or delegating low-value activities is just as important as focusing on the high-value ones. Many people stay overwhelmed because they refuse to let go. They answer every email, attend every meeting, and try to do everything themselves. But success demands trade-offs. You can't do everything, and you shouldn't. Your time is too valuable to be spent on tasks that someone else can do 80% as well. Free yourself to focus where you create the most impact. To stay focused, you must also guard your environment. Turn off distractions. Block time in your calendar. Protect your attention like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. When you're working on high-value tasks, treat that time as sacred. No multitasking. No interruptions. Just deep, focused work. This is where your real breakthroughs happen. And when you make it a habit, your results will speak for themselves. One of the fastest ways to simplify your life and accelerate your progress is to eliminate the unnecessary. Most people don't suffer from a lack of opportunity. They suffer from a lack of clarity and too many distractions. Every day is filled with countless choices, but only a few of them truly matter. The ability to say no to the trivial, the irrelevant, the low value, is what creates room for the things that actually count. Think of your life like a garden. If you don't actively pull the weeds, they will overtake the flowers. The weeds are the unnecessary obligations, the energy-draining commitments, the bad habits, and the time-wasting routines that creep in slowly but grow aggressively. These things may not seem harmful at first, but over time, they choke your progress. If you're not constantly removing what doesn't serve you, it will consume the space needed for what does. Start by doing a personal audit. Look at every area of your life, your schedule, your digital world, your relationships, your routines. Ask yourself, is this helping me or holding me back? Be brutally honest. Just because you've always done something doesn't mean you should keep doing it. Just because someone expects something from you doesn't mean you're obligated to deliver it. Simplicity comes from subtraction, not addition. Technology is a great example. It's a tool, not a master. Yet for many people, endless scrolling, checking, and clicking has replaced intentional living. Notifications, messages, and digital clutter steal your focus and fragment your attention. One of the most productive things you can do today is to silence what's not essential. Delete apps you don't use, turn off alerts you don't need, and reclaim your time from the digital noise. This also applies to the way you make decisions. Every decision you make requires mental energy. The more choices you're faced with, the more fatigued your mind becomes. By eliminating low-impact decisions, what to wear, what to eat, what to say yes to, you conserve willpower for the decisions that matter. That's why successful people often simplify their routines. Less choice means more focus. More focus means better outcome. Finally, understand that saying no is not rejection. It's protection. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. If you say yes to every meeting, every invitation, every task that lands in your inbox, you're saying no to deep work, to rest, to thinking time, and to personal growth. Elimination is not about being harsh. It's about being wise. It's about designing a life that's intentional instead of accidental. Simplicity in life and work often comes down to a powerful principle, the rule of three. No matter how complex your situation may seem, there are usually just three core tasks, goals, or priorities that contribute most to your success. These are the three big levers that, when consistently pulled, move everything else forward. When you get crystal clear on these three and focus your energy there, everything becomes more manageable and more effective. Every morning, ask yourself, what are the three most important things I need to do today? Not 10, not 7, just 3. If you could only get 3 things done that day, what would they be? This forces you to prioritize with purpose. It disciplines your mind to separate the important from the urgent. Most people operate on autopilot, reacting to emails and interruptions. But you operate differently when you start your day with intention. Your top 3 can apply to your day, your week, your quarter, or even your entire year. The time frame doesn't matter. The principle does. Whether you're planning a project, designing your life, or building a business, narrowing your focus to the 3 most essential components brings clarity and direction. It also gives you a natural filter. If a task doesn't support one of your top 3, you know it's not a priority right now. There's real power in constraint. When you limit your focus, you increase your impact. It's easy to feel productive while doing 100 small tasks, but true progress is made when you dedicate time and energy to the few things that truly count. By focusing on just 3 core outcomes, you free yourself from the trap of trying to do everything and doing none of it well. Write your top 3 down. Keep them visible. Track them daily. There's a mental shift that occurs when your priorities are clear and visible. You stop guessing what matters and start executing on what works. And when you complete even one of those 3 priorities each day, you build momentum, you build confidence. You begin to simplify your workflow and amplify your results all at once. The rule of 3 also works as a great tool for reflection. At the end of the day or week, ask yourself, did I move forward on my top 3? If not, why not? What got in the way? Was I distracted? Did I overcommit? This practice not only keeps you aligned, it teaches you where your time and attention are really going. It brings awareness, and awareness is the first step toward mastery. Time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. You can always earn more money, build more skills, or meet more people, but once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. That's why the most successful people treat time like gold. They are acutely aware that how they use their time today will determine the results they get tomorrow. If you want to simplify your life and accelerate your progress, you must become a master of how you spend each minute. Most people live in reaction mode. They wake up without a clear plan, respond to whatever comes at them, and reach the end of the day wondering where the time went. But time doesn't disappear. It gets spent. It gets spent on distractions, interruptions, and low-value activities. The key to leveraging time wisely is to stop reacting and start planning. Even 10 minutes of structured planning each day can save you hours of wasted effort. The highest performers block out time in advance for their most important tasks. They don't leave priorities to chance or hope to fit them in later. They carve out focused, uninterrupted blocks of time and treat those blocks with the same seriousness as a meeting with their most important client. When you schedule your priorities instead of prioritizing your schedule, you take control of your time instead of letting it control you. Another essential concept is understanding the value of your hour. If your time is worth $100 per hour and you're spending it on $10 tasks, you're throwing away value. Start measuring tasks by return on time. Ask, is this the highest value use of my hour right now? If the answer is no, delegate it, delay it, or delete it. This mindset forces you to think strategically and protect your time from being eaten up by things that do not move you forward. One of the most effective time leverage habits is working in time blocks with intense, focused effort, what some call deep work. Turn off your phone, close the browser, shut out the noise. Give yourself 60 to 90 minutes of uninterrupted, high-quality work time on a single priority. This kind of disciplined focus creates 5 to 10 times the productivity of multitasking or constantly switching between tasks. When you treat your time like it matters, your results begin to reflect it. You also leverage time through preparation and prevention. 10 minutes of planning can save hours of rework. A well-organized workspace can prevent wasted time looking for things. A clear morning routine can eliminate the mental fog that slows down your day. Small habits that eliminate friction compound into major time saving. Time management is not just about calendars and to-do lists. It's about creating systems that allow you to operate at your best with minimal waste and maximum intention. Taking full responsibility for your life is the foundation of personal power. Until you accept that you are the one who is ultimately in control, not your circumstances, not your past, not other people, you will remain stuck. The moment you stop blaming and start owning everything in your life, your entire mindset shifts. You move from being a victim of your situation to the architect of your future. And that shift is where true simplicity begins. Responsibility means acknowledging that everything you do or fail to do has a consequence. Your results are a reflection of your actions, decisions, habits, and mindset. When you embrace that truth, even if it's uncomfortable, you gain control. Blame is disempowering. It gives your energy to external forces. Responsibility, on the other hand, gives you clarity and confidence. It puts you in the driver's seat, where you belong. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, I have no choice. That statement is almost never true. You always have a choice. You may not control everything that happens, but you always control how you respond. And that response determines whether you spiral downward into frustration or rise upward into growth. Simplifying your life starts with choosing better responses, ones rooted in ownership, discipline, and action. Taking responsibility also means facing your excuses. Excuses are comforting because they protect your ego, but they also keep you stuck. I don't have time. I'm too tired. It's not the right moment. These are just ways to avoid responsibility. High performers recognize excuses for what they are, barriers to growth. They replace them with questions like, what can I do right now? Or how can I move forward today, even if it's just a small step? Another form of responsibility is being proactive rather than reactive. Don't wait for life to happen. Make life happen. Set goals. Make decisions. Follow through. Reactive people are always putting out fires, always behind, always overwhelmed. Proactive people are ahead of the curve because they plan, prepare, and execute with intention. Simplicity is found when you stop living in chaos and start leading your life with purpose. Lastly, responsibility is not about perfection. It's about ownership. You will make mistakes. You will have setbacks. But when you take responsibility, you learn from them. You adjust. You grow stronger. You don't waste time with guilt or denial. You move forward with clarity. Owning your life means accepting both the credit and the blame. It's not easy, but it's incredibly freeing, because when you know that it's all up to you, you also realize that you hold the key to change everything. In the end, simplifying your life isn't about doing less. It's about doing more of what matters most. It's about gaining control by getting clear, staying focused, and taking full ownership of your time, energy, and direction. You don't need more hours in the day. You need better habits, sharper priorities, and the courage to eliminate the noise. Every breakthrough begins with a decision. Decide today that your life will no longer be run by distractions, excuses, or unnecessary complexity. Decide to take command. Decide to simplify, because when you simplify, you multiply. You multiply your peace of mind, your productivity, and your progress toward the life you truly want. The tools are now in your hands. Clarity, focus, elimination, strategic priorities, effective time use, and total responsibility. These aren't just ideas, they are action steps. And when you apply them with consistency and discipline, you'll be amazed by how quickly life begins to work in your favor. Remember, success is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate thought and intentional action. So take a deep breath, clear the clutter, and step boldly into a simpler, smarter, and more successful version of your life. The path is yours to walk. Start now and never look back.